500 employees, and you're saying that you want to retain at least 460.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, for the 40 who are the remaining 40, I mean, are mostly older employees, and honestly, I just don't want to fire them so close to retirement.
Totally.
I mean, having said that, this is something we could continue to discuss, as long as the financial benefits make sense for them.
Okay, great. So just to get some more information, these 40 workers or employees that you're talking about, what positions are they in? Would you have any information?
No, I mean, I think it varies, but I mean, basically they're kind of the employees who've been around since the very first years of the company.
Okay.
And then who could have been made redundant, but we don't really know. I mean, it's a kind of different on employee by employee basis.
Okay. So I have two propositions to make to you, and this is totally in the interest of the company. Like one I said is modernize the company, for which we will have to let go of 40 people, but this is mostly admin processes. So I don't think the 40 employees that we're talking about right now fall into that category. This will be more, simple work that can be machinized and mechanized and can be done faster.
So as part of your automation, you're saying that 40 employees in the admin space would be let go?
Yeah. And the second proposition I want to make to you is, and that's more to save costs and get to higher growth, is 30 managers be replaced by 10 Agilians, professional managers. Now I totally understand your concern with letting go of the employees you've had with the company right from the beginning, and if your concern really is their survival after we let them go, we could look at a severance package for them.
Okay. So just to clarify, you're saying that you would want both of these things?
Yes, I think this is essential.
So you want 40 employees in the admin space automated, in addition to 30 managers being replaced by 10 Agilent managers. Okay, alright, so we can come back to this, but alright, is there anything else that you feel is essential?
So this is what I think in terms of the entire management, and now I can walk you through what we have for you in terms of the valuation.
Okay.
Alright, so now I totally understand that the company is really growing and has got a huge potential, and that's why I've come with a number which is close to 23 million for the company.
Okay.
I don't know if this matches with your number.
Okay, can you let me know, like, how'd you come up with 23 million?
So a couple of things that I did while considering this is, in the valuation mechanics, I know that you prefer DCF. So I've stuck to DCF. However, Agilent has a debt to equity ratio. So we've stuck to that ratio for valuation, and not to the 8.51 WACC, which you would have considered.
An 8.5 WACC?
Yeah.
That's not our WACC.
Sorry, just give me 1 minute. Sorry. 9.67. Sorry, 9.67. Missed the first digit there.
So, so you guys ran your own DCF?
Yeah, and the reason is that if we acquire the company, then we will have a certain debt to equity ratio. So we need to consider that.
So, your debt to equity ratio?
Yes, plus the risk premium comes to about 11%.
Whoa. And what is the risk premium?
So it's the premium over the risk-free rate of the government bonds.
Okay.
Yeah, in acquiring the company. So to calculate the cost of the capital.
Okay, so this is for the WACC calculation.
Yeah.
And what was your WACC?
So a total of 11%, and I can tell you how we derived that.
Okay. Okay. And what about, like, did you guys agree with our cash flows? The revenues and operating expenses of 96.6 to 98.9 in the second year onward?
So here's something that we did. We've taken a growth rate which is the average of last 5 years, to avoid any fluctuations and seasonalities and all of that. So I can tell you what I have in terms of revenues from the last 5 years, and therefore we got a growth rate of 0.4%.
0.4%.
Yeah.
Okay.
And similar with the operational expenses, I have a rate of 1.2%.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know how you guys came to these numbers. Have you seen our offer? Or have you seen our own DCF valuation? Because I believe I've sent you our valuation spreadsheet as well.
I don't think you sent it to me. Sure, you can send it to some other company. What's the number that you have?
Oh, okay. Well, wait, didn't I? In the proposal you've sent, Annabelle, you've only included the DCF valuation.
No,
So there's nothing in there?
No. Anyway, so we could start with this. What's the number that you sent me?
Well, so right now the issue is a couple things. Like, one is the total DCF valuation is about half of our sum that you're offering right now.
Okay.
So our WACC, the WACC that we took into consideration of 9.67, this was basically where is this? This is our cost of capital, and our expectation was that Agilent would have a similar cost of capital. And this is actually, as far as we're concerned, pretty generous, given that we've seen an average WACC of 9.2 being used for more debt finance companies doing minimum risk acquisitions. Also, the growth rate, in terms of the growth rate, while you guys are assuming a growth rate of 0.4, actually we adjusted down to a conservative growth rate of 2.4 based on our projection of really my projection is that our growth is going to be 6 to 8% in the next couple of years,
Okay.
due to our reorganization and also what we expect in terms of electronics market growth. But in spite of that, I actually lowered it to a 2.4% projection. Also, in terms of the cost side,
Yeah.
I'm only expecting this to go up by 0.1% per annum in the next couple of years. I mean, we reorganized to keep the organization lean. I've already, in the past 2 years, I've had to make some really tough decisions and let a considerable amount of people go just to keep the company as kind of profitable as possible.
Okay, so what do you have in mind as a total number then?
So right now the DCF sum for me is 45.72.
All right.
So I mean, this is not to mention the fact that we don't even have a terminal value.
Right.
So we don't even have a terminal value considered in the calculation. If anything, I've assumed a growth rate for year 1 and year 2, then no growth thereafter. So it's just a perpetuity without a growth, or not even a perpetuity. It's just a cash flow up to year 10.
Growth.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw. Right. So we'll have to, I think, look at each of the rows to get to some conclusive number. Okay, so on the fact that you mentioned that the market's at 9.2%, so I do agree that the market has been considering 9.2% for a low risk WACC. However, we do have to consider what Agilent's rates are, and I can tell you this, that I have internally fought to reduce the risk premium to half, and that's how I got to a WACC of 11%. Now going below this number is just not possible for me. And the growth rate, so